as secretary to present the draft minutes of the March 26th meeting and to read a prepared statement to the membership before any corrections are considered.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Before we move to the corrections, before we move to corrections, I would like to read a brief statement that provides important context for the membership.
So what?
I'm going to make this as brief as I can. I'm concerned about the increasing conflict in our recent meetings. To have productive meetings, we all need to follow the rules that govern our neighborhood association. Our association is guided by the Birmingham Citizen Participation Program, which was created by the city of Birmingham. We also follow Robert's Rules of Order newly revised. Both the president and I have completed the parliamentary procedures training course provided by the city. These documents clearly explain the duties of each officer and how meetings should be conducted. When we follow these rules, our meetings remain fair and orderly. For transparency, although I always remain neutral during the meetings, I want to share several things I feel the neighborhood association should know. As secretary, I prepared the draft minutes for the March 26th meeting using my handwritten notes and the full audio recording made openly during the meeting. I listened to the recording several times to ensure accuracy. President Russell did not like the minutes I prepared last time. He asked me to remove them from Nextdoor, which I declined to do. He posted an AI-generated version of Facebook instead of my minutes. A neighbor noticed the significant differences between the two versions. She created a red line comparison and asked that my original minutes be posted. Here is the red line document if anyone chooses to see it. And I will hang on to these documents till the end of the meeting. You're welcome to come see them.
They're also posted on Facebook.
Additionally, the president sent an email to Flora Johnson in the Community Resource Representative Office stating that I was not performing my job correctly. Flora Johnson did not respond. The full email can be read here. And I have that printed out. I also have hard copies of text messages from President Russell that contain similar demanding communications. To give the membership a clear picture of the context I've been working under, I would like to share two recent emails for the sake of time. I'm only going to show two. First, there was an email on March 28th, and it is here for you to read if you choose. I received an automated email from Crestline Neighborhood Association Automation System on behalf of President Russell, which stated, please attach the draft minutes for the Crestline Neighborhood Association meeting on Thursday, March 26, 2026. As secretary, please review and reply with any corrections within 36 hours. If no response is received, the minutes will be forwarded to Todd Russell for approval. These draft minutes were generated by President Russell. They were not prepared by me. Prior to this email, I was unaware of any shared Google Drive and had not been given access to it. I immediately replied to President Russell asking him to disable any automatic publishing feature and explaining that a 36-hour deadline was unrealistic for producing accurate minutes that require listening to the full recording. He never responded to that email. Second, an April 19th email from President Russell to me. President Russell sent me the following email demanding 3 corrections to the minutes. With the body's permission, I will read the key portions of President Russell's words. Quote, before the March 26th minutes go up for approval on April 23rd, 3 corrections need to be made. First, change the word claimed to stated. Second, the line should be amended to reflect that no official CNA vote has taken place. Third, the tally of 28 in favor and 1 opposed is not accurate. The minutes should be amended to reflect that the recorded tally is disputed. Here's a little bit more elaboration on those 3 principles. The word claimed was your choice and it fits a pattern. You have questioned the legitimacy of advisory committees under my presidency from the start. And the second one, you participated as a member of the advisory committee in the 2024 secret meetings with David Silverstein. Those meetings were closed to the public in violation of the CPP. That history is context for why one-word choice in the current minutes is not an isolated editing decision. Please submit a corrected draft. If they are not made, I will raise them on the floor at that time. These emails show the pressure I have faced as secretary to meet very short deadlines, accept AI-generated drafts without sufficient review, and make changes under threat of public challenge. For full transparency, I brought hard copies tonight, so anyone who wishes may read the email in full. Now, to address the 3 requested corrections. The word claimed, the president has asked me to change Todd claimed to Todd stated. Here is why I use the word claimed. The president was announcing a new rule that the Zoning and Land Use Committee must review an item before the full neighborhood could vote. This requirement had never been voted on by the membership and had not been applied to other items on the same agenda. According to the Citizen Participation Program, CPP, these committees are advisory only. They are formed by the president in consultation with the vice president and secretary to help leaders understand residents' views. On March 26th, the president of the Zoning and Land Use Committee was absent. The body was told that the committee had not heard St. Peter's presentation in the 2 weeks prior. It was also confirmed that a committee quorum was not present at the March 26th meeting. Yet the lack of committee review was used to attempt to block the full membership from voting on a timely agenda item that was already on the published agenda. This turned an advisory board into a mandatory gatekeeper, which the CPP does not authorize. An advisory committee cannot block the membership from voting once a motion has been made and seconded on the floor. Also, using the word claimed accurately reflected the membership's disagreement and the fact that they twice made proper motions to vote. The vote characterization category. A motion was made and seconded on the agenda item. Despite the chair's ruling, the membership took a vote of 28 in favor and 1 opposed. Under Robert's Rules, Section 48, minutes must record what was actually done at the meeting. The vote was taken on the floor. Now the vote tally. The audio recording clearly indicates only 1 opposing vote. A second call was even made for additional opposed votes excuse me, to ensure accuracy. Any conversations after the meeting do not change the record of what occurred that night. The president cannot unilaterally force the secretary to change the minutes simply because he dislikes how his actions are recorded. Minutes must remain an accurate record of what occurred. Any disagreements about accuracy can only be resolved by the full membership during the official approval process at the meeting, not by the president acting alone. Now, here's another category, 4 additional items for the neighborhood's awareness and transparency. Number 1, the president referenced a pattern in the 2024 Silverstein meetings. Those meetings were closed to the public, which went against the open meeting spirit of the CPP. As secretary at the time, I should have ensured they were properly noticed and documented. That was an oversight, and we have previously addressed those issues as a body and moved forward. I do not see a pattern or any direct connection between those 2024 meetings and the March 2026 minutes. However, since the president raised this matter, I am presenting it to the membership for your review and opinions. Number 2, the president has requested direct access to the neighborhood group email distribution list so he can send AI-generated minutes and newsletters. I support using AI as a tool, but the transcripts have not been accurate for our meetings due to
So,
accents.
You keep saying that I'm trying to do AI.
Marion has the floor
You know
now.
that.
Point of order. Point of order.
I support using AI as a tool, but the transcripts have not been accurate for our meetings due to accents, distance from the microphone, and room noise. Preparing accurate minutes requires many hours of careful review. The neighborhood group email distribution list is association property and should be used only for official neighborhood business. President Russell has made several public comments on Facebook and Nextdoor that express strong negative feelings towards St. Peter's Church and Ricky Brooks. Screenshots of these comments can be seen here. My concern about granting the president direct access to the group email list without additional officer oversight is that these public comments demonstrate an inability to separate his personal views from his role as president. The membership should have the opportunity to form its own opinions before being influenced by the president's strong personal narrative. I have offered to continue distributing approved minutes and newsletters on the group email list myself in order to protect member privacy and ensure accuracy. Any decision to grant the president direct access to the group email list without other officer oversight should be made by the full membership. I was surprised, number 3, I was surprised this week by an email from the city regarding an official request to change our name to Crestline Park without any prior discussion or vote by the membership. The city denied the request because no procedure exists. The CPP makes clear that important governance actions like this should receive membership approval first. President Russell did not discuss this change with the body or ask for a vote before requesting the name change. There's another document. Finally, due to an error in January that President Russell acknowledged in writing, he began sending agendas in advance to Counselor Hunter Williams' office to ensure the counselor's compliance with the city attorney. We had an agreement to do so. The president later called the practice absurd and then on April 16th stated he had changed his mind and would no longer follow the schedule. To maintain good communications and relationships with our city council representative, I continue forwarding the agendas myself. The chain of emails can be read here. All of these situations have made performing my duties as secretary more difficult due to short timelines, added pressure, and surprise communications from the city for me to sort out. I am sharing them tonight in the spirit of transparency so the membership can make informed decisions about how we move forward. Therefore, I ask the membership to, number 1, approve the March 26th minutes as presented by the secretary or with only specific factual corrections approved by majority vote tonight. Number 2, affirm that the presiding officer must remain impartial while in the chair. This is from Robert's Rules, Section 43. And that advisory committees cannot block the membership from voting on agenda items. Number 3, in light of recent attempts to change the neighborhood name without membership approval, require that any formal position, request, or inquiry to the city that commits the neighborhood to a stance or action receive prior authorization by a vote of the membership. Number 4, provide guidance on the use of AI for minutes, access to the group email list, and continued advanced sharing of agendas with Hunter Williams' office. I remain committed to producing accurate minutes and to following the CPP and Robert's Rules of Order. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Second.
Say that again?
Can I make a motion to approve the minutes as Marion presented to the neighborhood?
I
Second.
haven't even asked for my corrections yet. I guess we can do both, or, sure, go ahead.
Can I make a motion to approve the minutes as Marion presented? So moved.
Who seconded?
I'll second.
Do you have a question?
No, I'll just second.
Yes. Jennifer Fisher, no.
All in favor?
We need to count votes here. starting here, I want you to say one, drop your hand.
1,
2,
3, 4,
6,
7,
8,
9,
10,
11.
I don't know, I've been.
the
How
motion,
many are
We got-
opposed to
Opposed.
this?
no one opposed.
How many abstain?
Marion, are you asking for a
I can't
motion to
remember.
affirm your statement you made at the end? Or you wanna?
Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, yeah, do you wanna cover the motions at the end during new business, the other ones, or do you wanna cover that now?
What's your second?
Y'all wanna come give her a hand?
She needs one.
Okay. Okay. I have one final statement. Mr. President, I have now presented the draft minutes and the supporting statement. I move that the minutes be approved as presented by the secretary.
They've been done so, I believe.
Yes, very good.
All right, anything else? Okay, well then I'm gonna address something that came out of the experience last month as well. Because a lot of what you said was right. St. Peter's came to the March meeting to present their sidewalk variance request, and a presentation was what was agreed to in advance, and that was not on the agenda. There was no vote that was on the agenda. Despite that, a vote was pushed from the floor before the zoning committee had a chance to review any of the information being presented. During the presentation, we were given information that later turned out to be inaccurate, including the hearing date and a statement about the drainage plan. I'm meeting with Ricky Brooks next week to understand how this happened, and I'll have a fuller update for you in May. This is exactly why the zoning committee exists, to review what's being presented to us and verify it before we're asked to take a position. I want to personally thank John Trott of the zoning committee for his sacrifice of a full day's work to help investigate this situation, and in my book, he's a neighborhood hero. Going forward, I've recommended to the zoning committee that any developer or applicant requesting a place on our agenda submit their plans to the committee at least 30 days in advance. This gives the committee time to review the proposal, verify claims being made, and ask questions, and bring recommendations to the full association. This is about making sure this never happens again. We never need to vote on something that eventually turns out to be false. That's what happened. Mayor Woodfin today said it. He said development should not happen to neighborhoods, it should happen with them. And that's exactly what this process is designed to do. So more good news, St. Peter's has withdrawn their sidewalk waiver application. The sidewalk on Haywood will be built. It's great news for the neighborhood, and I appreciate their decision. In the meantime, I ask your patience while we work through the remaining issues directly. First up, we have the Birmingham Police Department. Captain Hayes from the East
Sorry,
Precinct.
Can we ask some questions about what you just said? Can we ask questions?
Are you in a hurry? Because these guys have been waiting a long time, and we can table this and come back to it if that's okay with you, if you're in a hurry.
I would rather y'all handle all this business first, because y'all ain't gonna be paying attention to what we all have to say. Our attention in here.
Yeah,
Appreciate your patience. Go
Let's
ahead.
just ask them a question. I wasn't here last meeting, so I'm not.
Hey, Flood. Flood.
Sorry, I'm asking a question. I wasn't here last meeting, so I'm a little confused. We can, as a neighborhood association, we can take a vote at any time.
Absolutely.
As long as it's.
100%.
Part of
That's
the
why
process.
we're gonna make this rule change.
But I'm confused as how you said that it was like an unjust vote, because we can take a vote at any time. As
Because
long
it
as
was
it's
not
voted
what was
by the
agreed upon with the
association.
applicant at the time.
Oh, was there documentation that you guys had an agreement?
No, it was a phone call.
Oh, okay, but that still shouldn't really matter as part of us voting as
Right,
an association.
right. If someone wants to have a vote during that to approve it, they can, and that is why we're
And
gonna
that's
have
what
this.
you-
Stack so hard on this.
Right, so that's where we're gonna have a new process.
But
So
is it,
before they even come here,
but why do
we
we
will
need a
have it
new
for a month.
process if we did the process last time?
we did.
But you just said that we did.
Well.
Didn't
no,
do Todd's process,
I have an explanation for this.
not the
Go ahead.
community.
From, the city should have sent you a piece of paper. Well, that goes, okay, this goes with the pickleball people here.
This, I think you're talking about something different.
No, I know, but I've got a thought in that other one too. We are supposed to, our president is supposed to sign a piece of paper from the city, which is requesting what the vote was and what the motion was.
Yes.
Well, okay, the pickleball people, the people who were here, they weren't even in our neighborhood.
Who are the pickleball people?
It's unbelievable.
I think it's unrelated a little bit.
No, it's related in the fact that we voted that these pickleball people could have liquor, but we didn't have their paperwork. So they sent the paperwork to you, which you
Marion.
sent to Marion. The point is, they're not even in our neighborhood. They're in Crestwood South. Marion realized that they were over in Carnival, and we went over there and they said, oh, I'm so sorry. And we saw their original paperwork, and this is a city thing. India, are you still here?
Hey, Barbara,
Hey,
hey,
no, no, no,
Barbara,
she's- I think
I'm
she's asking
asking
a
about the
completely separate
church and the sidewalk on the church and the vote.
Speak up.
I'm asking about the church and the sidewalk that was voted on last week. I'm just a little confused because we as an association are able to vote as a part of new business and propose a vote. But Todd is not only telling us that we shouldn't have voted, but then also that they made some false claims or something?
That's
And so
correct.
that was my next question is what
So,
data do you
generally
have
speaking,
to
after
say
the
that
whole
it's
Silverstein
false?
affair,
Sorry,
we-
I was finishing asking my question.
Go ahead.
What data do you have that whatever their claim was false?
Well, I have the transcript, the recorded transcript of the meeting, and I have the correct information from the city.
And do you have Ricky Brooks input too? Do you have the church's input too? Put all the pieces together?
So I don't know what happened exactly. I think that maybe the church was misled.
Okay, so you're missing a critical part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did you reach out to Ricky Brooks?
So, yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
because
did
you
that.
called him a liar, and so, I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
it's misled.
well, he said, yeah, you did, pretty much. You pretty much called him, said the church
Was
has
this in a
been,
meeting last week?
yeah.
It was on Facebook, he said.
Yeah, on Facebook, he said a church that's moving into our neighborhood, that they're basically a bunch of liars.
We were told stuff last week.
Hey,
that was
hey,
not true.
Todd, listen, you have no right to tell anyone they're a liar based off of how you deal with things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Todd.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna bring that up too.
You want 20 minutes?
Sorry,
Yes.
Can I go back to my question?
I would love to answer your question.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to know why do we need a new process when there is a defined process? It is a process
Yes.
that has worked since I don't know when Robert's Rules of Order was written, but probably in the 1800s, I think.
Okay.
If I could fact check that. So I
So-
don't understand. First question, why are you telling us that we need a new process when we are following a process that is a typical business procedure?
Okay. The advisory committee that I formed after Silverstein and that whole incident is going to review all developers' plans before, I mean, usually they come and present and then we look at it. That was the original plan. They come in like, when the church came and presented their plan, they wanted to vote that night, but we were gonna wait for a month to do the vote.
Did we vote on that? Or who had that arrangement that we would wait a month?
That's the zoning committee.
But that shouldn't matter because we are the association, we are the membership. So I'm still really
Sure.
confused as to
So
why
the change
you are
now is that
proposing, sorry,
if
I'm
it-
not finished. Why are you proposing a new process to, it sounds like appease a process that you want oversight on when you as the president should be impartial?
No, this is something that the zoning committee needs to look at.
Why?
Whenever we have a
Is it a
developer,
requirement?
Yes.
By who?
I wanna
Zoning
say,
committee.
the city confirmed that there was no,
Can you speak up?
there was no neighborhood vote required for this, variance they were seeking.
That's true.
The head of the subdivision, Rodney, I forget his name. Yeah, he said that the church came to us out of courtesy, being our potential new neighbor.
Yep.
That he said, the neighborhood is more than welcome to send letters, but you need to know that a neighborhood vote or recommendation going before any kind of committee is not required. You don't even have to submit anything from your neighborhood, but that citizen input will be considered. But the church, I guess he was getting flooded with letters and from people supporting the church. And he said, I just want you to know that the church only came to you as a courtesy, as your future neighbor. They did not need your vote, they did not need your input.
Okay.
So
So
that
there's
whole
really
zoning
no
committee
need-
and vote
yeah.
is a moot point.
Yes,
They
okay,
came to us just to get our input.
okay.
And I think it's since talked to other neighbors and have made an informed decision based on what they think neighbors want. So
Okay.
the issue is, I think we're mixing a lot of facts together.
Yeah.
They came to us out of
First.
future neighborhood.
Okay, so we don't really need to change our process, I'm assuming?
Well, we just.
Correct.
We
We've
don't.
got a new rule with the committee now, and it's gonna
But
follow a new
who-
process.
did we vote on that rule?
We have not.
We have not formed a committee. This group has not formed a committee.
It's
Todd, it's a Todd committee.
So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, it
And an
doesn't.
advisory board cannot block a vote that is rightfully brought to the floor and seconded. They can't act as a gatekeeper.
100%, I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is,
You're
if
just
they
gonna
want, if
hold
a
back-
developer wants to be on the agenda from now on, they will present their plans to the committee 30 days before they're on the agenda.
Wow.
And who set that rule,
So that
Todd?
there's not a floor.
Todd,
vote
who
unless
set that
something
rule?
bypasses the whole committee.
Todd, who set that rule?
Yeah.
Who set that rule that they have to propose
30 days.
30
I
days ahead?
recommended that to the head of the committee.
And who approved that?
Yeah.
It's the committee's vote.
Who's the
No, it's
committee?
not.
You set up the
Josh-
committee.
Josh was here to talk, but
It's an advisory.
It's
Yeah, go ahead.
advisory, it's fake committee.
It's a fake
It
committee,
never
Todd.
met.
means nothing.
well,
There's
if-
been minutes.
Yeah, you can't
if y'all say
change
that,
our
but we do have the right to
process.
have it, and any developer that wants to come before us.
No, they
in
do
the
not.
future
Vote on things
Will
over
be
us.
presenting
No.
their plans to
Yeah.
us.
They
I don't-
can't vote on something and say that this is
Can
how
I
it is.
propose that we maybe move on from this, cause guess what? We, as members of the neighborhood, can do whatever we want. Within the Robert, this is his side gig, if he wants to do, it's his opinion. If somebody wants to come to our meeting and get put on the agenda, guess what, they can. If we wanna vote in support of them, guess what, we can. Flora and India and everybody can affirm that zoning committee has no weight.
Okay, cool.
But we
And so
also,
I think we let Todd have his little side gig he wants to do in his control, and we as a membership know it has no weight.
the first time we
No
talked,
weight.
about this committee, we said we did not want the committee because we were afraid there would be these backlogs of people and they wouldn't be able to come and they'd have to wait 30 days or whatever the committee felt appropriate. Here we are, fast forward, because Todd created his own committee because we didn't want it. So
That
he
was a
created,
standing
I'm
committee.
talking, created his own committee without our approval. And so now he's starting this roadblock that anybody that wants any kind of variance now has to wait 30 days to get on the agenda. I'm not okay with that. And these people, this committee had 2 weeks to review this sidewalk
They didn't
thing
give us anything.
before this
They
meeting.
didn't give us
So
any.
could
First of all, Todd, they don't have to, Todd. They don't. You mean nothing to that sidewalk.
Do you wanna tell everybody who gets to make the agenda?
So,
I mean, who gets to be put on there?
to tell everybody, let's move forward, honestly, with your agenda. And then I just so happen pulled out officer duties and responsibilities, and I can, address that part. But right now, this is not meaningful. We're just going back and forth, and we're not doing anything that's gonna benefit the neighborhood at this point. And so I suggest that you move forward with the agenda that you have as written, and then when it's my time to speak, I can address that. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
So is everyone ready to move on? Good. Officer.
Oh, no problem, no problem, no problem. Good evening, everyone. How you doing? First of all, I'd like to formally introduce myself. I'm Captain Randy not believe me, go on the website, please. I didn't bring the numbers with me, I apologize. Go on the website, you can see where we are keeping our numbers updated as a concern. Now, when you talk about concerns for the neighborhood, I know there was some concerns about vagrants and stuff like that, but we deal with them daily, okay? And what we do is, everybody has a place in society, okay? And I apologize for that, because it sounds like, well, you're not doing anything about our vagrants. That's not true. That's not true. Our main concern is human life, okay? Human life, even though you are what we call an unhoused, okay, we still want to do what's best for all parties involved, all parties. So we have offered care and help for the unhoused at the church that keep sleeping there. Okay. The problem is we have to get ownership involved in order to evict him. We can't just evict people off property without ownership right. Okay, I can't come to your house and say, this man doesn't belong, he's not in uniform, without you saying he doesn't belong there. So that is a legal issue that we have to go through. But we have, and we will continue to offer help for all the unhoused in the area. The biggest plus minus will be, when you talk about crime, will be Walmart, shoplifters and stuff like that we get. We do apprehend, and they do, and Walmart is cooperating. They are arrested. So when they catch some offender, they are arrested. Unfortunately, when they catch them, they arrest them. It goes to staff. So I do apologize for that, but at least this is the term. So as it relates to me, give a little bit of background on myself. I apologize. I didn't do it up front. I've been with the department 39 years. I've commanded South Precinct, West Precinct, now East Precinct. I've been on narcotics tax. So I have an array of background. I love Birmingham. Okay. Been with it 39 years, so you know that's L-O-V-E. Not L-U-V, I'm sorry. So I love Birmingham. I do appreciate it. With that, I would like to field any questions or concerns. And I do take all questions or concerns because I take the neighborhood serious. I've got the officers now engaged. We are getting engaged in different community activities as it relates to East Precinct. I go to neighborhood meetings. My goal is to make all neighborhood meetings. Unfortunately, some meet on the same night at the same time, and some have discussions. But we're going to stay here to the neighborhood meeting so we can get your point of view, because everybody got a point of view of what crime is, and I want to address that. So are there any concerns?
Do they have any street officers?
Ma'am?
Is everybody supposed to be in a car and no walking around?
I am now currently working on bicycle officers now, ma'am, so we can get bicycle officers in the neighborhood, especially in business districts, so they can be more visible. But again, that takes training and time, but it is coming.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Last Saturday, I live on Monarch Avenue in an intersection of Capewood, and I noticed that there was a motorcycle policeman that had pulled a car off of Capewood, and his blue lights were just flashing, and he gave him a ticket for something, either speeding or running a stop sign, and it's good to have that presence in our neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am, we are doing more and more of that. The thing about it is, we want what we call a reputation. Okay, so we're trying to get personnel and citizens to slow down, and we are trying to do more and more traffic enforcement. I have mandated that we run radar every day. Unfortunately, we got 35 communities in the East Precinct, so we won't hit everyone every day. I apologize at all times, but we are working on that issue. We are writing tickets. We are writing more tickets, but we're more so writing tickets not as a punishment, but as a deterrent. Because I would like to see personnel come to the neighborhood, enjoy the city, because Haywood is a very good neighborhood.
Busy city.
Yes, ma'am.
We used to have, an officer that dealt with, code enforcement.
We still do.
And we don't have one now, so
Yes, we do.
where have they moved to?
Okay, what we do, we have an officer that deal with code enforcement, Officer Hope. He does deal with code enforcement, but he is not directly under me. He falls under we still have one for this area.
So we still can get a hold of him
Yes, ma'am.
when we have.
And if you cannot, email me, okay, email me. If you have any problems or concerns, you can email me. I will answer my emails, I promise you I do that. I might not answer them directly that day or that moment, but I do go to my email periodically and I answer my email and I do address your concern. Even if you got concerns about, any illegal activity, even if it's not concerned about something that you randomly think about. You might see somebody in your neighborhood riding a bicycle that you've never seen before. And I see we're gonna address it. We're gonna look for it. We're gonna try to make sure that we handle that situation, and I will email you back what are the results.
The reason why I asked about that is because you can use code enforcement to help keep certain crimes
And we do.
out of an area.
And we do, and we also do what we can do too. So we do. I send a lot of things to code enforcement for their assistance. But again, we're gonna do what we're supposed to do. If you
Part of what you guys were witnessing earlier about this discussion with the church, comes down to, there's been a lot of issues with pay good and people speeding. And so they're kind of interrelated with how the sidewalk thing and all the stuff with, St. Peter's Church. So, one of the things that I personally would like to see, I live on pay good. And
Yes, sir.
the reason I kind of inserted myself in the middle of all this craziness is, to try to get that traffic slowed down.
Yes, sir. And we will assist
You know,
you.
and part of that discussion is being able to get stop signs and crosswalks, anything that we can do to slow that traffic that comes down through Haygood Street. And that's been my whole motivation through this thing. Unfortunately, it's turned ugly, and that.
No, sir. I tell folks all the time, sometimes when you care, there's a discussion.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a heated discussion when you care. You care about your neighborhood. You should have a heated discussion sometimes. Doesn't mean we gotta come to a fist fight. Just mean I got a point of view and I wanna see it and I wanna push it forward. So if you care, I'm gonna tell you like this here. All of us have kids. We care about our kids. I guarantee you, if you see something going wrong with your kid, you're gonna have a heated discussion. So again, I understand what you're saying, sir. I understand what's going on in the neighborhood. I do understand the love that you have for where you stand. Because a lot of times when we buy houses, it's a fixture. We're planning on spending the rest of our life there. We want to be safe. We want to be comfortable. Okay? Everybody wants a sense of enjoyment. Okay? I want the police department to be a part of that to assist you in that. So we will be writing tickets on Haygood.
That would be great.
Now, background, I started my career out here. So I know about Haygood. I know when Central Plaza was booming. Mars and Restaurant was up there. I remember when they built the hoops. Okay, so I remember when we used to come up here to what's the restaurant? Well, I can't think of it. Well, I remember when Dennis used to be on the corner. So when Dennis was on the corner up here, so that's been a while ago. Trust me, I've seen what a good neighborhood can do, and I appreciate that. I do appreciate that, but I also understand what a collaboration does. We are the police department. It's not us against y'all. It's no. We're gonna work as one. And when y'all have community events, please send them to me, because we would like to have officers there. I want to be kid friendly. I want to be neighborhood friendly. I want to be community friendly. This is what we need to push. Because this is how we make a bond. Because you know what? If you can talk to me, you can tell me something. But if there's that wall and you'll stand over there and I stand over here, you'll be like, well, he ain't doing his job. I don't give a. So I want that community. I want that bond.
So I'm gonna be kind of brief, but I do wanna cover a couple of things. I asked both of these commanders to be here because I wanted y'all to see both of them. Under Chief Pickett, we actually have, every precinct has 2 captains assigned to, okay? Captain Cochran is our primary daytime captain, where Captain Hayes is here tonight. That puts a command level leadership out here in the field. Now, I wanna tell y'all, you talk to a man that worked TAC, a man that rode a lot of tickets on a motorcycle, now y'all asking for tickets on Haygood. Don't be mad when certain people get them. I tell all of that, Because when we have to go out there, we wanna go out there. But just be mindful, don't say, hey, call your policeman buddy, because I'll tell you, I've told these commanders, when we write tickets, we submit them right then. There ain't no more handwritten tickets, so there ain't no, hey, call your friend and we void them, we're gonna give them. And, I commend the officers for that. The other thing I wanna go over with y'all, just real quick, are some stats, because I gotta make another meeting. But I want y'all to know some very important stats, and all this is online. But we're gonna go over our top one citywide with murder, is down 48% citywide. I really wanna talk about that because Birmingham gets a bad rap every time you see something happen on the news. The city of Birmingham right now, we've only had 14 homicides in the city. Within 48 hours, everyone that was accused of those has been arrested and is being charged. That to even include the shooting that happened in Nanafungus. Okay? So I'm gonna say that. I was about to say something else, but I can't really talk about that. The other thing, citywide, rapes down 11%, robbery down 33%, aggravated assault down 10%, total violent crime citywide 15%. Discharging, which is, everybody likes to talk about this celebratory gunfire. That is really the only time we really have it really overwhelms shot spot. And the police get hit a lot, well, do respond to. We can't respond to every single shot spotter on New Year's Eve. Let me be clear. There's no city in the United States that can do that. What we do though, is we've got over 34% down in discharging within the city of Birmingham. That is due to our response times. I want to commend both of these gentlemen. If anybody had to call the police lately in the last 6 months for anything?
Yeah.
How long did it take them to get there?
5 minutes or less.
That's unheard of for a city this size. And I would challenge any city in the United States that's our size to put it up against ours. Our officers are doing great work. Our commanders are doing great work. Response time is very important because when you call the police, you want them there. But we've got to get there safely. We're dealing now with some cars that have been wrecked, and the city council and the mayor, they've been great with funding the police. But just as we get officers out here, they got to get uniforms, they got to get cars, they got to get equipment. All that takes money, and it's nothing that the police department can do alone. It takes city government to help us. So when your counselors and your city officials come up here, make sure you think. Another thing I really want to talk about citywide, because it is up a little bit out east, and that's burglary. But citywide, we're down 11.2%, auto theft 20% as well. I'm gonna close out on this note. We're having a bad problem citywide with houses that are getting redeveloped, I guess would be a good word, where contractors are coming in there, they're doing some work, and no one lives in the house, they're fixing it up to sell it. How about that? Pay attention to those houses in your neighborhoods. And if you see somebody, even if you think it's a contractor, call the police, because I've charged the police to do an FIO report on it, so if later on something happens, we've got an intelligent report of who was actually there, okay? Because that's happening a lot, and it's really happening a lot out east, and it's hurting my captain's numbers a little bit as it relates to those.
But not in your neighborhood.
I'm not speaking of these precincts. Let me be clear. When I talk, I speak of the precincts. I'm just saying, if y'all see something,
Not in your neighborhood. I promise you that.
y'all have friends, family that live throughout the city. So when I speak, let me be clear, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I speak citywide. So, but as far as East Precinct as a whole, we need to be mindful. We always say when you see something, say something. That is a clue, okay? Even if you can take a picture and get it to the officer, if you don't want to talk to the officers, talk to them on the phone, they can get the information out, okay? But I just want to get up here in front of y'all. I know it's kind of a lot going on here. But we're dealing next month, I'm letting you know for your agenda purposes, Elena Melton, who works with City Hall, this would be the right thing to say, with the unhoused, she's going to be here to talk about some very important topics as it relates to the unhoused and what the city is doing upon her guidance of how we're dealing with it. Just remember, Birmingham, we're not alone. This is happening nationwide, okay? And whoever comes up with a solution for it's going to be rich. I say that everywhere. Because I don't care what neighborhood meeting we go to, what city event we go to, it's a problem everywhere. So we've got to come up with a way to do turn it back over to these guys.
About going to the Citizens Academy, that, one thing is, the police department has hired more officers, and that helps. The other thing is this new technology
I was gonna
that's
get to
in
that.
the CRP unit, and they, all these cameras and these analysts, and for different positions, even in patrol, they can plan where to put people at certain times in certain areas with response time. And the captains also know where their officers are at any given time now. And the captains, like if something's moving from north to south, they communicate. There's ways they communicate and everything. So actually, the city is getting safer.
Yes, ma'am. As you talk about new technology, I want to elaborate on that just a little bit, Okay. If you have not heard of the real-time crime center, I please encourage everyone to go onto the website and go on the Birmingham Police Department page, look up on the real-time crime center. What it does, it gives us real-time access to what's going on the streets of the neighborhood. Let me please reiterate that, the street. What we want is access to your cameras, not on the inside, but on the outside. But what's on the inside is the privacy of your home. Okay? We don't want to come into the privacy of your home and violate anybody's right. So we do want access to the outside. A lot of times we have used cameras to stop things before they start. But sometimes we'll see gathering, and it'll be from a complaint. Somebody calls and say, hey, we got several people gathered. We tap into a camera in the area. We'll offer notification, hey, you got 4 wheels down on the corner, one of them down on blue jeans, the other down brown pants, one walking with a board in his hand. We don't know what's going on. Well, officer will respond, make interaction with them. They realize we know who they are. Whatever they thought about doing, they may not do it, and they just disperse. It's happened numerous times. So, if you go onto the website, there's a form you have to fill out if you have not already done. And what it does is give us access to your cameras. I'm gonna tell you, a crime that we saw. We did solve a crime. What happened was the area that the crime happened in did not have camera footage. But we had camera footage on the route. So we picked up the vehicle on the route. We was able to apprehend the vehicle a short time later due to the fact that once we got the description from the scene, we followed the route. So you might say, well, nothing goes on in my neighborhood. Well, I'm a criminal, I hide in the quiet neighborhood. I hide that, man. That's that guy. I hide that. But again, so anytime you allow us access to your camera, it is very important as it relates to crime problems. When you come to neighborhood meetings, I like to hear concerns. Speak, hey, I believe, like I said, when you talk about keys and sidewalks and stuff like that, sir, I believe in that. I believe in freedom to walk on your street, walk your dog, ride your bicycle. Just do natural dog work out there. So, speed no ain't good. Yes, sir, we will address it. I promise you.
I have a question about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, something that happened a couple of years ago. I was in Flora, and my neighbors said the dogs were walking crazy, which they never do. So they called the police. So the police officer came to my house, which set off my alarm, which goes to my phone, and I'm in Florida. So I spoke to him a little, but then I called my neighbor, and I told her what happened. So she walked across the street, and there was no person there except the policeman was checking out the complaints. And it caused my alarm to go off. And like I said, I was in Florida, and it happened in Birmingham.
Well, the good thing about that, ma'am, if there was something going on, we was in a place to intervene.
Yes,
So that's
I was
the good thing.
pleased.
So I apologize for setting off your alarm, but I don't understand how it set off your alarm unless it's a And that's a good thing because, you know, that lets you know we are responding to the call.
Yeah, I spoke to him that day. You know, when he was at my house and I was away.
And I hope that was a friendly interaction.
It was, I was very pleased to hear it, to be.
And that's something else. If you do have an unfriendly interaction, I'm gonna give you my email address. So you can have, my email address is just like my name, Raymond, RAYMOND, .Cochran, just like the lawyer, COCHRAN, at Birmingham, AL.GOV. That is my email address. Please, I know some people like to be anonymous with what they do, because sometimes we go in and say, okay, I don't want my neighbor knowing I'm telling them that. Okay, send me an email, and we'll address it. We'll address it.
I have another question, and I know everybody wants to come home, so we'll be sure. There was an incident, about a week ago in my neighborhood, and, the police were called by the people who were involved in it. And apparently, the police that would be covering our area here were out on a call, so the police in Irondale had to come, or came, which required more time. It wasn't an emergency or anything like that.
Aren't there?
Irondale, it took about, what, 20, 30 minutes, I think?
What's your address?
What's your
Excuse me?
address?
What is your address?
1121 Monarch.
Okay.
It wasn't, somebody did a tree.
Ma'am, if it's a Birmingham issue, Birmingham is gonna handle that issue, and we're gonna get there in a timely manner. Irondale will not be working crime in Birmingham, I do apologize for that. But, you know, only time we work crime in Birmingham, if that crime was committed in Irondale and they followed them into Birmingham. So that would be the only case that Irondale should be working that crime.
Well, that's what they said, that they were Birmingham police.
What, you didn't see them, did you, or that night, that was true? Never mind.
We'll look into it soon.
Some of the addresses are Irondale when it's really Birmingham.
Okay, I mean, you might say Irondale, I know on the hill, there are some address, you know, they do develop, but it's broken up, but we do know Birmingham because we are dispatched to where we're supposed to go.
This is right in front of the house. Somebody else knows.
Are there any other concerns, questions, concerns? Again, I think when you care about things, we voice things. Okay, we voice them. We voice, and it means something to me when you voice something. Because I want to make sure that your concern is heard. Nothing is small, because it's big to you, so it's big to me. With that,
Thank you.
I'll take just 2 seconds to introduce myself really quick, give you my email address as well. And that is going to be Christopher, common spelling, .Hayes, Hays, there's no E. If you put E in it, it won't come to me. Been thinking about changing my name for years. With Hays at birminghamhealth.gov. Been with Birmingham 24 years. Got promoted to sergeant, came out here. I got promoted to lieutenant, came back out here. Got promoted to captain as a lieutenant here, and I'm still here. So, very familiar with the neighborhood, very familiar with Ms. Renfro. Walking in here, I realized I've met you before. I've been to meetings here before. So, very familiar. If you need anything, reach out to me. I'm here to support him. And I work, right now I'm working, what days do I work right now? Wednesday through Saturday. I work the evening shift hours. Starting in May, I will work Saturday through Tuesday, evening shift hours. It'll be 4 10 hours. So if you need anything, email me. If I need to, I can forward, well, I will forward to him, keep it included as well, and we'll handle the issues together.
and please, by all means, see something, say something, so we can do something. Okay, see something, say something, so we can do something. Just don't have to be bad, it can be good.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
You are. Thank you. And if you got any concerns, please email.
Absolutely.
That was great. India, I was walking the news section of the trail today. You got an update for us?
I do, and I'll be incredibly quick, in the essence of time. With the trail, finish line. Thank y'all so much for your patience as we have worked on this tirelessly over the past year. We're very excited about it. I think it's gonna look good. I was out there today, very impressed with the work that they are doing. Does anybody have anything for me before I turn it over to Ms. Flora Johnson?
Just one thing on the homeless guy that's camped out at the Purple Onion. Is there anything we can do there?
The police were just here. Why didn't you ask them?
Well, so what he said is that he needs buy-in from the owner, and I contacted the owner. If anyone would like to contact the owner, it's right here. They're out of Florida, and if you call them, they will mock you and say, "Oh yeah, we'll get right on that." They have no interest in turning in anybody who's trespassing on their land, and I think something like maybe revoking a business license or something like that is going to be for something.
We have sent that up several times. That issue does go to the police once we split up, of course, through the mayor's team, et cetera, then it hits the police. And, you know, all we can do is just keep sending it up.
Go get this number from me. I'll take this.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Do you wanna announce it for the minutes?
Yeah. Good idea, thank you.
You're welcome.
The owner of the property on 1545 Montclair Road, which was most recently the Purple Onion, is the Hill/Gray 7 LLC company. Their address is 415 South Orlando Avenue, Suite 221, Winter Park, Florida, 32789.
You have a phone number?
Yeah, I know I do, because I called you.
Did it close?
You talking about that guy that slips in the doorway?
Mm-hmm. I will dig it up and put it, see if we can attach it to the minutes, or I'll put it on the Facebook page. Yeah, because I don't see it, sorry.
Yeah, I don't, if it's needed, I make a motion for you to amend the minutes with the phone number and contact number, and add that to the minutes.
Good deal, thank you.
So moved.
Flora, good to see you.
Great to see you all. And respect to time, I respect you all time. Good evening, everybody. So my name is Flora Johnson, and I serve as Deputy Director for Community Resource Services Division. It's the division that makes these neighborhood association meetings possible.
She's now in charge of the division she used to participate in with us.
Right, so
But she
yeah.
did such a great job.
I now have 99 neighborhoods and that's a few. But I wanted to talk about, and I thought maybe the captains would have brought it up, but I wanted to talk about the charity baseball game that's gonna happen Sunday at Brickwood Stadium. So it's gonna be against the Birmingham Police Department is in a competition with the fire department. So it's a free charity event. We hope that you all can come out. It starts, the first pitch is at 1:30. There'll be a youth baseball clinic as well. So if you know any little tiny types that wants to take a swing at it, invite them out. It's all free. It's all good. So in hearing you all's, disagreements about who can do what, I pulled duties, right? So I pulled the officer duties. I pulled the secretary's duties. I pulled the president's duties. And so I just want to let the neighborhood know that the president basically acts in, he has three roles, right? So he acts as an administrator, he acts as a leader, and then he acts as the presiding officer. However, the secretary, she's responsible for recording and making sure and ensuring that things are accurate, right? And so I want to go back a little bit. I want to bring up two things. I want to bring up the democratic process. What is that when I say the democratic process? What is that? Don't be shy. Come on now. We just going.
We all vote on it.
We all say it again.
We all vote on it.
We all vote on. And so what we all vote on, we all must respect. I want to bring up Robert's Rules of Order. What is that? It's a book. It's not necessarily a book, but it's a process for how we make motions, how we take votes, and how we say we're going to do what we're going to do, right? And so I want to just reiterate that and bring that back to the forefront, because all of this is what makes our neighborhood associations possible. It's what makes the programming chief administrative officer, head of the organization, he presides at business meetings, and he has the authority to appoint committees. He does have that authority. Somebody brought it up in this room that they're advisory. That's true. What's advisory?
Non-binding.
I'm giving you some advice.
Yeah, non-binding.
Right, and so, you know, if the neighborhood wants to accept that, or they don't want to accept that, guess what? The democratic process says that we have to go with the flow, or we have to go with the majority, correct? So I just wanna remind you all about those two key things, the democratic process, being respectful of everybody's decisions, everybody's voice, everybody's wants and needs. Let's be respectful for that. Let's be respectful of everybody's emotions. And then furthermore, let's be respectful of everybody's time. Because Ms. Barnett has a big job, and I'm gonna rattle off to the secretary. And this is not an all exhaustive list, but this is just a few things I'm reading off. Take careful and authentic notes of the proceedings of the meetings as a basis for preparing the minutes. Record and attest by signature the approved minutes as the official minutes of the organization with the date of approval. Search the minutes for information requested by officers or members. Provide the chairman of each standing committee with a copy of all proposals referred to it, instructions or material that may be useful. Okay? And then the secretary also mail minutes, attendance sheets, request letters for funds from companies and organizations, quotes, and other important decisions made by the neighborhood association. And again, that's not everything that's on this list, but those are just a few examples of what Ms. Barnett's duties are. And her duties are just as important as the leader's duties, just as you all are important to this entire organization. So I just want to bring that back to the forefront. I want us to be mindful of how we do things, how we say things to each other, even down to our city leaders. You know, be mindful of what we do and what we say in this process, because it is a democratic process, and it is designed for us to have more involvement with our government, so that way we know exactly what it is that you want to see in your neighborhood. And with that being said, are there any thoughts or questions for me? Yes.
I have to say something. I've lived here, 30 years, and I've heard your name so much. What you were doing, it's the first time I have ever seen you.
Really?
Yes, I have.
No.
And, or did, if I saw her, I didn't know who it was. I also wanted to say that the people of 3 and 9, and our president and secretary worked so hard. Nobody wanted the jobs to begin with, and we're lucky we have somebody that took the reins and is leading us, because whether you agree or disagree, nobody wants to do the job. And to me, and I may disagree, sometimes I do, he's still doing, the bottom line is he's doing a great job. And so is our secretary, and heck, that's a good job I would have done in 1 million years. But I think when we batter these people, we need to think of what they're doing and just chill out or have an attitude change for that particular thing, and bring it up to the meeting. That's my big mouth.
I've met you before.
Yes.
I've been in your office, and I've seen you before at meetings, and you passed out calendars one time to us.
I never knew she was that.
So as far as now having this new requirement that the body hasn't voted on of doing 30 days ahead of time, can we vote not to do that, or is the president just allowed to do that anyway?
So you all can vote to do whatever it is that you want to do. So I can have committees outside of this neighborhood association that informs him, that he can then inform the neighborhood association. Does that make sense?
Well, I guess.
But withholding
Yeah.
information, I don't think that that's a great thing to do, or I don't think at least that, is that your intention, Todd? I don't believe that's his intention, but
No.
that's not right.
First
That's-
thing I've never wrote publicly was that I intend to be 100% open.
Can bring information to the
Unfortunately.
meeting.
Absolutely.
And I think it's some of our responsibilities to do that and not depend on,
Yeah,
What
he's
he-
saying that with this committee though, he's gonna block anyone bringing
and when
information.
Irene was talking about before Tom, we had 5 people, sometimes 4, that showed up to the meetings, and the age group
Yeah.
was 60 years old up.
Yes,
So
but
we
then
need-
yeah,
we need-
we need participation for sure.
And we need the younger generation, and I don't know how to get them.
Make it a
Involved.
short meeting.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
Or make it a
it's-
productive meeting. Like, I would love to come to a meeting where all we talk about is like a workshop to do something. You know, we maybe get reports from the stats from the police officer on paper, something that Ms. Garnett can just add into the minutes and record, and we all just have like working groups to work towards something. I know at one point we were talking about doing the movies in the park or a movie event. What happened to that?
It's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened to the school thing on May night?
After she's done.
Okay, well, okay, well, yeah, just, you know, and I get it, the officers did make a great point that when you're passionate about something, there will be a little bit of back and forth, but the great thing about this is that eventually we come to some type of consensus and we all move forward. We all move forward. And so I just wanted to just kind of put that in everybody's ear, and I got 2 copies right here, so I'm gonna give one to Todd, and I'm gonna give one to Ms. Barnett. There I go. You're welcome. And, yeah, so I wanna leave my contact information for everybody. Yes,
I have a question. Who sets the agenda each month?
the secretary and president get together with their agenda.
Does anybody have the right to say, I'm not putting that on the agenda?
That's between them two. Yes, ma'am?
As a follow-up to this question, can anybody request to make, to be added to the agenda?
Yes, so say for instance, you wanted UAB Live Health Smart to come in and speak to you all about a new mobile market that they have, you just connect with Todd and Mary, and they can get that added to the agenda. That's just an example.
Okay.
That's a little process.
If they agree to not add someone to the agenda, do they have to say why?
I mean, I would like for them to say, no, because, you know, saying no is aggressive, but if you give no and why, that's assertion. So I would love to see assertion behind a no.
100%.
These are great questions. Any more? I don't wanna continue to hold this, but I do wanna just encourage us to be friendly and respectful of everybody's time, including us, city leaders.
But one good thing that we've done is Crestline Park.
Yes.
We put 9 trees out in the park, and that's got a lot to do with Katie over here.
I love that. What, can I ask what type of trees?
Yeah.
Sure, why don't you just start your presentation?
I asked if I could be
Because
on the
she's next.
agenda today, should we do it now?
You're new
Well, now I'm
business.
like 16, and then it's 7:16, y'all, so just.
I'll be fast. So.
Wait, have we
yay,
finished
so-
with old
yeah,
business then?
I think this is old, this falls under.
Oh, we're in
old
new business or
This
old?
is old.
New business.
Okay.
This is not, okay, they told me it's old, but.
Whatever.
All right, so yay, so a tree committee planted trees. I'm gonna acknowledge Florence and Irene and Todd and India, thank you. And John was there at the planting. Who was at the planting? Have y'all seen the trees? You were at the planting too?
I mean, I showed up.
Awesome. Okay, so have y'all seen the trees? So we've got 5 chestnut oaks down on the west side, I'm calling the west track trees, and then the east playground trees are 2 live oaks, a white oak, and a scarlet oak. So, the reason I wanted to be on the agenda today is because we, in order for these trees to survive, and really the only reason the city passed this tree planting event is because we had a tree care plan. And so we have successfully been watering these trees. And I have a sign-up sheet, and I'm just quickly tell y'all how it's been going, because of course it was a little trial and error at first. But we have been doing, the neighbors have come out to water the trees. It just, many hands make light work. I'm really big on that. And also
So, I have a sign-up sheet on Google that I can transfer your name over if you're interested in watering. We do have a schedule because the trees can be overwatered. I don't think we're gonna risk that, but it's possible. And then if they don't get watered a weekend, I mean, y'all know how hot it is in the summers. This is really, so in order for these beautiful little baby trees to survive their first 6 months to year, has to happen. We do have some wonderful folks that have come out, you know. So, Todd has offered his hose in his backyard. I live on Kingsbury. We have pink ribbon on our fences. If anybody else that lives in the park would like to offer their hose, it's just filling up 15 gallons of water per tree per week. The schedule, I have the date of a Saturday. If you sign up, I really like to have a team of 2 per side of the park, so 4 people per weekend. But we have backup people. If you really can't do it that weekend, please just let us know. Let me know. Okay, so we have a dolly. All right, we've got the buckets in the both yards. We need 3 buckets. We have a dolly and wheelbarrows.
What if it rains?
If it rains, then we will let you know if it's rained enough to count as a deep watering. Because the trees need deep water. There's been only one, but I was a little nervous on that. I had to keep checking. So, we might get it this weekend. I don't know, we'll see. So if that happens, you don't have to water that weekend. But I'm telling you, it's fun. It's a fun way to hang out with your neighbors. Use the lid when you have the buckets and tamp it down just halfway, because if you put the lid on the whole way, it's hard to get off supposedly. And then when you do the dolly, you have it sealed on this side. If it spills out a little bit, fine. This is important though. When you water, put the lid down at the base of the tree, because if you just splash the buckets of water in, you could risk exposing the roots, and then they can scorch in the sun. So we want to have the lid down on the ground, and you pour the water on the lid, and it just softens the way you water. Okay, sign up sheet, hoses, ribbons. Y'all get it, right? Thank y'all, everybody who was on the tree team. It was such a fun day.
We found extra mulch. Is that gonna go down like later this summer? Is that what the plan is?
I was thinking we could have a tree care day, like a more laid back kind of event, where maybe we just have coffee and pastries, and it'll only take an hour to deep water, remulch, probably towards the end of the summer, and then I think the mulch is kind of getting a little bit.
Yeah,
Well, this is one thing, you do have to have a certain physical ability to water these trees. I mean, it's like, it is exercise. But I really mean it, even just putting the water in the buckets actually is a big help, and it's fun. And Florence likes to remind me, Katie, tell them early in the morning is good to water. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I personally don't care as long as you get them watered. Saturday or Sunday is great. If you have to do Friday or Monday, great. Put the date down that you water them, so we have the communication that the trees have been watered. The spreadsheet is just a communication tool, just to know they got watered. Okay? Yay! Crestline, all right.
Thank you, Katie, and.
Thank you. Oh, is there anything else?
No, that's it. This is a great project, and,
we get that.
if any other individual neighbor has an idea and they wanna pursue it, we can make it happen. And just look at Katie, it's been great.
I wouldn't have done it if people didn't show up for a community meeting. Like, I was never gonna do this by myself.
It really is fun.
So-
Even without the coffee and pastries and all that, we always have a good time. Okay, the other thing I have is a update on the Crestline Park Groove Music Festival. It's just 2 weeks away, a little over 2 weeks away. It's gonna be May 9th from noon to 6. And we've got a new sponsor, the Shops in Montevallo, is jumped in, and yeah, it's super exciting. So also want to say special thanks to Brian Pitchford over at the Alpha Insurance over there, went above and beyond helping us get insurance policy for the event. And then also over there, there's a brand new shop, the e-bike Oasis. I think they're down on the south side also. They may have several locations, but they've got one now, right here.
Is that the swimming place?
Yeah, little electric motorcycles.
Yeah, I saw them putting up
Yeah,
sign.
so they have the trikes too, but apparently those are really dangerous, so stay off of those. But I think they're gonna come out and put a tent out and maybe offer some demo rides, which will be kind of fun. And, let's see. And then we've added another band. So we're gonna have the Undergrounders close us out. So we've got, Huck and Lily, Kids Act opening up at noon, followed by Ken and Andy, followed by Rollin' in the Hay. After that is the Slacker Bees, and then the Undergrounders. That's quite a day. Saws is gonna be out there all day serving food. Wim from, the bakery is gonna be up there selling ice cream. You can bring your own cooler, bring your own blanket, your leash dogs, of course. Wink, wink. And we'll have posters going out this week. Actually, they've kind of started already going out. But please spread the word. And then, let's see, one other announcement. We have an election coming up.
Oh wait, are we finished with new business? I have new business.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. President, I move that the Crestline Neighborhood Association censure President Todd Russell for publicly disparaging our new neighbors, St. Peter's Anglican Church and Ricky Brooks on Facebook and Nextdoor. And I have all the posts that y'all can see if you're not on Facebook, for y'all to see. He has referred to the church, in these posts, made while identifying himself as Todd Russell, Crestline Neighborhood Association President. He has repeatedly accused the church of being dishonest and intentionally making false or misleading statements to the neighborhood. He has also referred to the church as a wealthy developer trying to save money by walking back commitments. He has compared David Silverstein and Five Stones manipulating business practices. He has stated that
Callie, can you speak up? I can't hear you very well.
He has stated that St. Peter's and Ricky Brooks are no more trustworthy than those previous developers. I have also received an email from Ricky Brooks that directly refutes several of the claims made by President Russell in his social media posts. The email confirms that President Russell never contacted Ricky Brooks or the church to hear their side before making negative public statements. As an elected president, Todd Russell is the official face and representative of our entire neighborhood association. When he posts in that capacity, his words are widely perceived as speaking for the Crestline Neighborhood Association as a whole. These public comments demonstrate a failure to maintain impartiality expected of the presiding officer. As president, he has the responsibility to be very careful with his words on social media and should not cause unnecessary neighborhood drama, disparage neighbors, businesses, or churches in our community, especially a church or individual members of that church. Such statements undermine the neighborhood's goal of being welcoming to new residents and institutions, damage the association's reputation with the city, potential new neighbors, and local businesses, as well as contradicting the spirit of the Citizens Participation Program, which encourages open, respectful dialogue among all members of the community. A censure will make it clear for the official record that the Crestline Neighborhood Association does not endorse or condone these negative statements about St. Peter's or Ricky Brooks. Most neighbors are excited about the church moving into our community, and the membership should have the opportunity to form its own opinions based on the facts presented at our meetings rather than being influenced by the president's strong personal narrative. And for the record, I have Ricky Brooks' emails with me, and I can read three portions or the whole thing if the membership would like to hear them.
The whole thing, please.
Would like to hear them before the vote. And I also have written copies of the motion for the record and the secretary.
All right, read the whole thing.
Would you hand that to them?
I think it's ridiculous.
And give one of these two to Debbie. Please. Does anybody else want to see the censure? What I said?
Is he giving it out?
Oh, wait, wrong. Okay, so here's the email. The first was a text message inquiring to Ricky. I said, One more question, did Todd ever reach out for information or questions for you before he posted negative things on Facebook?
Speak up, please.
One more question, did Todd ever, this is my text to Ricky. One more question, did Todd ever reach out for information or questions for you before he posted negative things on Facebook or after? I know you said Todd wanted to meet. Do you remember approximately when he reached out and how he did so? Phone, text, or email? Ricky responded, I reached out to him to let him know that we had postponed the meeting. Below is his response. He wanted no conversation. Todd, I will call you later today, but I have a meeting with the city postponed until 5:13. And then Todd responded just with his email address. Nothing else. Then the emails from Ricky, there are two. The first one he wanted me to know, he actually responded again and said, by the way, small correction, it was a waiver and not a variance. He keeps calling it a waiver, but it's really a variance, but it's really just a waiver. But his email said, Hallie, here are the facts around the request for a variance on putting in the sidewalk. He corrected that with the other email. The neighborhood meeting was not a requirement to obtain this variance. When Josh Donnell and I met with the city staff, approximately 8 to 10 of them, Kim Sproul told us that the staff would recommend the subdivision committee that we have sidewalks. There were affirmative head nods around the room. She said that if we did want to apply, there were 6 or 7 questions that we had to answer affirmatively. She did suggest, though it wasn't required, that we could continue meeting with the neighborhood association. She said that if the neighborhood was in favor of no sidewalk, it might influence and might was in italics, it might influence the subdivision committee if we could answer all questions affirmatively. 3, the neighborhood had indicated they wanted more green space. The sidewalk seemed to serve very little purpose to us since there were 6 or 7 houses to the north of our property that had no sidewalk. I called Tad Bailey before the meeting to give him a heads up. He indicated that he did not want the sidewalk. Number 4, we came in good faith. The minutes to your meeting should reflect that I started off by stating, quote, we said we are going to build a sidewalk, so if the neighborhood wants a sidewalk, we will build a sidewalk, end quote. Josh and I proceeded to make our presentation and request the association to vote one way or another. We made it clear that it seemed logical to us not to have it. I referred to it as the sidewalk to Tad Bailey's house, but I didn't expect there to be a vote with us standing there. I thought we would make our presentation and be excused. The neighbor would have a discussion and then possibly a vote. We would be informed later, but the call for a vote kind of took a life on of its own. Appropriately, I certainly couldn't and didn't call for a vote, and it wasn't my place to try to stop one. 5, the neighborhood meeting was on March the 26th. Josh had applied for the variance on the 25th, but really it's a waiver. He assumed that we would be assigned the March 22nd meeting because there must be notice sent to the surrounding neighbors for any public meeting held by the subdivision committee. He didn't find out until some days later that we were on for the 8th. We learned that Todd and several in the neighborhood were upset with the timing. So on April 6th, we asked to be moved to the May 13th meeting to give the neighborhood more time. 6, since the initial meeting of February 17th with the city, we have known staff was going to recommend the sidewalk. However, the subdivision committee exists to do what is best for the neighborhood. We thought that we had a chance for approval of the variance request if, in all caps, the neighborhood overwhelmingly, italicized, agreed it did not want one. 7, since the meeting, I have talked with John Trott several times, very civil and affirming, by the way. John lives on the same block as the church and the Baileys. He indicated that he and several of the neighbors in the block want the sidewalk. 8, once I had that conversation, I requested that Shoal pull the request for the variance/waiver. If the neighborhood wants the sidewalk, we'll build the sidewalk. We had no clue this could become a divisive issue. 9, by the way, Horror Construction Company estimated we would save roughly $14,000. After engineering fees of $4,000 to $5,000, we saved $10,000. I know you believe this, but we would never intentionally state something incorrectly, but over some great subversion over $10,000, because the project is lots and lots. Another email I have is after he sent me his text message. Said this email was sent to Josh, that's the Shoal Engineering guy, on April 8th. He was told that all the info would have to come from St. Peter's. Todd never contacted me about this information. He did contact me by email this past Monday, 4/20, saying, I believe we should meet. Let me know if you agree. I told him we had withdrawn our application. I told him I was out most of the week and would contact him next week. And then the email from Todd to Shoal says, Mr. Donnell, our zoning and land use committee and our traffic committee are both reviewing St. Peter's sidewalk variance request ahead of the May 13th meeting. The landscaping plans shared at our March 26th meeting were helpful, but we had a few questions we hope you can assist with. Could you provide us with a certified survey for the Haygood Street frontage? We'd also like to understand the relationship between the proposed curb and gutter alignment and the existing Jefferson County sanitary sewer main. Is there a drawing that shows both? Finally, could you share the stormwater drainage plan that was submitted to Jefferson County Environmental Services? We want to make sure our committee has a complete picture before the hearing. Best, Todd Russell, President, Crestline Neighborhood Association. Oh wait, so I moved that we.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'll say.
Are you running for president? You know,
We can't have elections for presidents until the federal lawsuit comes through. But I think there are a lot of people now that would like to be officers. But
Anyone else?
But we can't do that because there's a federal lawsuit that we can't have any sort of officer elections. So that's where we are. So
Sorry, can I just ask a question? So what does this mean exactly?
So what we're going to do is censure publicly so that Todd knows and any other president knows that when they get on Facebook or Nextdoor and they start disparaging new people coming in, they need to have facts first. They need to have fact checked with that other person. And even if they do, it should probably be handled face to face.
It's Facebook.
Instead of getting on Facebook. Facebook lasts forever. Ricky Brooks is a very well-respected man in our community and nationwide. This black eye that when Todd called him a wealthy developer and said that he's no more trustworthy than David Silverstein, that's pretty damning. And we're lucky that it's a church, because if it was a corporation, they'd probably sue us. So because it's a church, they're not gonna do that. But social media is a big fat hairy deal to be going around and saying bad things about people on the internet with no basis whatsoever.
So just no disparaging comments on our social media page for the neighborhood for Facebook, is that what we're saying here?
Or if you do, you're gonna get censored.
Okay.
It's really a way so that if this happens in the future, maybe make somebody stop and think, or our leadership stop and think before, because they are our leaders, and when they say something on Facebook, and especially when Todd identified himself, and you can see in those documents, as CNA president, it looks like he is speaking for CNA, and that's embarrassing. So we're just trying to figure out a way to get people to some sort of stopgap so that they don't do that anymore.
My generation doesn't really get on Facebook, so that's why I'm
Well,
asking.
he did it on Nextdoor too.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, none of those websites
Can we vote?
can,
Yeah, we got a motion.
you can't
We
trust.
don't have to vote, right?
No,
Yes, you have to vote.
Oh, we do
We
have
got
to
a
vote.
motion
Oh,
and a
okay.
second.
All in favor?
So what's the motion? I don't know.
To censure.
Let's count. Let's count hands.
Yes, did you really say
One,
that stuff?
one,
Two.
Yes, you did.
Amy, three, Hal, four,
Five.
Hal, five, six, seven,
7.
8, 9.
I think you're shy.
let's do it again.
I mean, it's not.
Redo.
Just
One.
take off
One,
Two.
three,
four. You can actually remove.
5,
five,
Other than
six,
administrators.
seven,
8,
8,
9.
9, 10.
Anyone opposed?
So now I want to bring up.
Wait,
You're not opposed.
No, I'm not opposed. Oh.
Anyone abstain, gotta get the abstains too.
Abstaining is not voting.
Yes.
Is anyone opposed?
So does anyone abstain?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're not voting, raise your hand.
What are you gonna vote?
Wanna make a vote?
If you're not voting,
I'll abstain because I.
Yes.
if you're not voting, raise your hand. So we have 3 abstentions?
One,
Until I can find more information. Because what I'm learning is people put things on Facebook every day. This should not be put on Facebook. So you're telling me now that there is some kind of government agency that's going to go through, so, or if you put something on Facebook
it's not the
and I don't
government.
think it's true, I can sue you?
No,
No.
no. If he says something disparaging about somebody on a public forum, he could be sued.
Yeah, and everybody's got an opinion.
Like defamation of character, like remember that when you could get sued for defamation of character? It's kind of the same thing now, but you put it in writing, you put it on the internet, and you make it public, so we're trying to not get like
Basically,
sued.
Because
do you
I don't
think you
get
should
on
not
any
post
of
that,
those.
or
I
it's
just-
good to post?
Yeah.
I don't, because I think it's stupid and ridiculous what
Well,
people
the
put.
president can do it, anybody can do it.
It is
You gotta miss it.
it is a communication tool and it's a public communication tool, so there is merit to what has been proposed.
Yes.
However, I don't really fully understand how you censure
It's
somebody.
through the administrator.
Okay.
You
So they just take it
notes.
down.
Yes.
All they do is they just take it down if they don't approve what the message
Okay.
was.
Well,
And I don't
but
think,
it always is disparaging.
and I mean, Google just says a censure is a strong form of disapproval. of
So you're
harsh
saying
criticism.
whoever
So I don't
runs
think there's any
Facebook.
action that comes from this, like, I don't think, I mean, he's the
Just
administrator
recorded,
of
he was
Facebook.
censured.
Yeah, it's just, it's documented that he was censured and that, you know, for the record, so that people that go to St. Peter's, know St. Peter's, that Google St. Peter's, and this comes up, because it will, that for the record, the
It's
neighborhood,
just him.
the neighborhood has censured him, that we don't feel that way about the church.
Like
We-
literally all the votes, it's just him and maybe one other person that agrees with him.
Church stuff like that, you know,
So we have
Yeah.
done that, so.
So, and I apologize, I do have something to say.
Yes.
So, I literally flew in from Charleston a couple hours earlier, paid for an extra flight just to come in because of Todd and what he did last month. So Todd is telling a church member, someone who's building a church, that they are, what's the word he used? Not liars, but what did he say?
No more trustworthy than Silverstein.
Yeah, no more trustworthy than Silverstein. And this is coming from Todd. And I want to tell y'all a little bit about what Todd does. Todd tried to basically not have the church built there. And basically he was walking around and acting like he was some kind of new commercial salesman. Like he was going to sell a $4 million piece of property and he was going to sit there with no commission. And he was just going to helping everybody else by selling the $4 million property. Never been a commercial salesman. Wasn't going to make that $240,000 commission on it. And he said he had somebody. Whatever. Secondly, Todd walks around, he says, this is a mega church. They're building a mega church. If anyone talk to Todd? Because if you talked to him, you heard that. I was walking through the neighborhood, people goes, what about that mega church that's being built? I go, my God. Was that Todd telling me? They're like, yeah, that's Todd. It's a mega church. Does Todd know what a mega church is? Todd, do you know what a mega church is? What's the size of a mega church? Do you know? The minimum is 2,000. Do you know what the size of this church is? Because I went. 340. Wow. Not even close. Not even remotely close. But you go around and tell everybody. So does that sound like someone being dishonest? Sounds like it to me. And not only that, what size church are they building? They are building a church that has 500 seats. And that's if, in case they have something going on, an event where they have everybody come at once, and it still will not fill up the church. They'd have to do that 4 times on one Sunday, and they have 340-something members. So once again, Todd is just stirring stuff up, and that's what he's trying to do. And the same thing, Todd goes in and starts talking to everybody about the drainage situation. Is Todd an engineer? Todd, I am a civil engineer. You know nothing. There's nothing that you said was remotely right. A city puts together, they say this is how it has to be built. An engineer goes in and they do the design and they build it according to the specifications of the city. And when they do the specification according to the city, if they don't do it right, guess what? People can sue them. And everyone can sue them. They could sue the church, the neighbors could sue, so they have to follow the specifications. All Todd was doing is, once again, trying to stir things up. So, I don't know if y'all know, so I'm going to shut it down from there. So, when you take something from Todd, it's kind of like Barney Fife on Andy Griffin's show, running around with his one bullet. That's his little wand right there. That's all he has. And that's all he's trying to do is stir stuff up. And I'm tired of it. I don't come to meetings because of Todd. I am now because I'm tired of what he's doing. And I'm tired of his lies. And I want to call him out on it when he does it. And that's all I have to say.
The meeting you referred to is recorded, but you won't release it.
Hey, Todd.
Actually, I offered to meet in Flora's office because you've been such a bully. I didn't want to do that by myself, and I wanted Flora to be there to have a witness of what actually happened. And we emailed back and forth, and we talked about it, and there was an email exchange about it. And then just nothing ever happened. So anybody that texts me or emailed me,
3 against 1
or
plus the recording, so let the recording stand.
or
Figure it out.
called me, it's too long to post the recording. But what I can do is post give somebody the transcript, and it was a pretty good transcript. So what I offered to do with Flora was to bring the transcript and us listen to the recording together, because A, I didn't ever want to be in a lone room with you because you don't tell the truth about what happened. I didn't want you to fabricate anything. And B, I wanted a witness of what was actually said, and we all went through and said, yes, that is exactly what the transcript said. So that's, and you just never responded, so we didn't.
And once again, Todd, you're putting us where we're having to have these conversations. This conversation should never have to happen. I shouldn't have to fly in early to come and sit here and listen to you sit there stirring your little stuff up in the neighborhood like you do.
It's on Zoom on her laptop over there. You didn't have to fly in.
No, I was coming in from Charleston, so I had to get back in time. I had a meeting today. So I had a meeting there, and then I had to fly in early to get here for this meeting so I could tell what all the stuff that Todd's been misinforming everybody about.
We also don't have the infrastructure for Zoom or a microphone in order for people to Zoom in like Highland Park does.
You all can ask the vote to do it.
We can. We tried. We don't have it.
You didn't want to do it.
We voted for the money, but there's no vendors to spend the money on. This is like stuff that we need.
On a Zoom, you can do a business Zoom.
But
I don't understand what you're saying. Just bring the computer.
if anyone wants to see what the church and the size of the church and all this, it shows you how many members. It also says percentages of what the land costs.
I would like one, please,
Yeah.
if you have an extra.
Yeah. And the reason why I brought that is because I think it's important that all this was published, but Todd was running around, telling everybody everything he can to make the church look bad. And I just cannot believe that he would do that.
I don't think the churches look bad.
He's going to call him a mega church?
You haven't read the Facebook
No,
post.
I
It's
have
pretty bad.
not, and I guess maybe that's.
Yeah.
But back to the recording, just to let everybody know, we decided by vote to record the meetings, and I resigned because I just don't work well with Todd. I can't be, So I resigned and he was supposed to find somebody to record the meetings, and that's why we don't have any recorded meetings anymore, because he's yet to find somebody to record the meetings. So if we do do
Anybody
it,
knows anybody who'd like to record the
if we
meetings?
do the Zoom, I'm doing it this, but if we do the Zoom, somebody's gotta be in charge with that. And I find it interesting that people aren't really wanting to help, because when you help, you end up being bitten by him, like Marion's stuff that she's talking about tonight. For me, it was just better to step away and remove that drama from my life, and that's why I stopped recording. I blamed it on my daughter, but that's getting married, but that was the reason.
Well, when the church people were here, the few times I was here and heard them, I only heard them agreeing to the things that we had.
Yes. I think
Well, everything we voted on, he was against.
yes.
Well, I
We
heard
voted 86-2
I
and
was
28-1, and Todd was on the wrong end on both of those.
And went to the city and voiced his
And-
concern
yeah, and went to the
against our
city.
vote.
You know as well as I do, when it comes to contractors and stuff, you have this plan and stuff, but eventually something's getting changed.
Not
If
in
it
your-
doesn't,
It always does.
no, I do know that, and I do know that if you do not follow the drainage
I know.
thing, that you could get sued, so
Oh,
they have to.
When the apartments was coming in, I've lived here for 30-some years. I run down the sewers. I went on the street where the excess water goes in. I mapped out everything. I went downtown to the traffic department and found out. And I went over to Mountain Brook and found out some of what they was planning to do. You know, they put in the sidewalks and stuff. People, when I hear something, I don't naturally say, oh, okay, that's got to be the truth. Because I'm gonna find out for myself.
So
I think
you-
what we're talking about is just some public comments that
Yeah.
were made from our leader by reading this, that
Because they're
do
gonna put
not-
more
that-
trees.
hold on now.
Sorry.
That do not represent the neighborhood's thoughts and feelings. They're disparaging comments, and like Hallie said, this is online and this is available for the entire world to see someone disparaging a religious organization. So if there's no more questions or concerns about this, I motion to close this meeting because I feel like we could talk about this
Second.
all day.
Hey, no, we're not done with the meeting, so,
Oh, I thought we were done.
no.
What
We
else
have
is on the
announcements,
agenda?
Hold
Well, we
up,
can table this conversation.
hold up.
We still have announcements.
I need more clarification of who opposed the censure and who abstained. I only
These
have
three
4
ladies right
people.
here.
Florence already
I
not
abstain
abstained,
until I
everybody
can
else.
find more information
Yes, these three ladies.
on
So there's 3
myself.
people
I don't
that's
depend on other people.
abstained.
These three ladies right here. Her,
Katie
her,
Rose.
and her.
And who opposed?
No one.
Nobody.
No one.
This is the actual, text and stuff you can read.
Okay,
Are
what
you
else?
all members of St. Peter's Church?
We are now.
No, we're not members.
We're not members. We started going when Todd called them a mega church. I wanted to see what they were.
What
And
are
I
they
went there,
named?
and I was like looking around, and I was like,
They're
there,
actually-
I grew up in Wilcox County, Camden. There are bigger churches in Camden than there are at that, than
From
that
New
church.
Jersey?
Yeah. So, not Camden, New Jersey,
Camden,
Camden, Alabama.
Oh.
Alabama. In the sticks.
Where are they now? Where-
Motion to conclude this conversation so we can get through the rest
Second.
of the agenda.
All right,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, anyone opposed? All right, just a couple of quick announcements. We have an election coming up Tuesday, May 19th. It's the Jefferson County Commission, all 5 seats. Sheriff, tax assessor, tax collector, and judicial races are all on the ballots, and there are 2 statewide amendments. May 19th.
It's a big
You just
thing.
go down to, we're not.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know it's coming up, so it's gonna be right here, so.
Yeah, okay.
And then our next neighborhood association meeting is Thursday, May 28th, 6 p.m.
That's after the thing.
It's after the thing in the park, so we'll have a review. Thanks, y'all.
You have to motion to close.
No, no, I don't, you make the motion.
Alan,
what's happening in Crestline? I know Ty's wanting somebody else's.
No, it's not me.